Hey, how you doing? Thought I'd show you a little infrared video and some images I took of this object while it was going by. You can see the cell phone tower in the bottom right there. Now this is the object here that you were just looking at on infrared. And to me it looks three-dimensional. It doesn't look like a light on top of an airplane to me. And that certainly doesn't either. It's got some type of a geodesic form at that particular moment anyway. They have a tendency to change shape as they're flying along, whatever these things are. And notice the multitude of colors that are going on there. And what appears to me to be a casing or a shell on the outside of that that's capable of changing shape and opening and closing at the same time. So you're not going to have red and green lights that close together, as well as a white light on the bottom on any kind of an aircraft that's FAA regulated. Now this here is the same object, okay, or two objects, depending on how you look at it, I suppose, taken just a few seconds later. Now where's all the color gone? That's not a black and white photograph, that's a color photograph. So this is clearly not an airplane, and these are really hard to sort out when you're out here taking images at night, because there are aircraft in the area and there are other things that are not aircraft in the area, that's for sure. And I believe this is one of them. This is the same object that the other images were of. Again, you can see it's changed shape and color. I enhanced it just a little bit to bring out some details in it, but that's clearly not an aircraft that I'm familiar with. This here is about 321 millimeters. Let me zoom in on it here a little bit. Now this could be an airplane, okay, but I sort of don't think so. If you're looking at this on 1080, I should have enhanced this a little bit, but these are the natural colors of this object, whatever it is, or objects. And if I would have enhanced it a little bit, you could see right here there's a trace of what appears to be light. In other words, where this object came down and over and down, or it went this way. But either way, there's a little bit of a light trace right through here. So to me, this just doesn't look like an airplane. Let me show you another photograph of it here. I don't have this one on infrared, but nonetheless. What I'm seeing here again is this object moving and brightening up and powering down as it goes. And then what I'm seeing here, maybe it's just me, but it looks like a glass sphere around here, or what some people might call an orb. And it looks like it's being lit up from the inside. In other words, this is a six-sided object right here, and it's lighting up or casting light onto the shell right here is what it looks like. And then you've got a different a beehive configuration down here of what I think is metamaterial of some kind. So what these are, or what their purpose is, I'm not exactly sure. I just don't think they're standard aircraft. And like I said, it's really hard to sort them out when you're out there taking pictures at night, hour after hour. So I think what we got here is possibly one object that's flying along, started to power up right here, and then finally does right here. And you can see it's changed shape. It's got that strawberry look on the inside of it right there, and it's got that strawberry color right here as well. And this what looks like it's opened up over here. It's got like a shell or something on the outside of it. Now this is another infrared. Notice the two stars right there that it's getting close to. They'll come into play here in this photograph I took of this thing as it's flying along. Now that's a photograph, and you can see right here are the two stars that I was talking about. Okay, let me zoom in on this thing. Look at that there. Clearly this object or two objects, as it appears to be right here, are spiraling as it's going through the air and blinking as it goes, and makes for an interesting photograph, to say the least. I don't know how an airplane would do that. This is the same object photographed just a couple seconds later, and now the lights on this thing are white. I didn't enhance this at all. I mean, this is the natural color and lighting of this object that I took as it was flying along when you were, while the infrared was going. And I was tracking it with infrared and taking photographs of it. Now this here is not from the infrared. This is just a different set of lights, objects that I saw. And to me, it looks like these are opening and closing, revealing a light or a power source on the inside and changing shape as it goes. And this is a companion to those, or to that one. I'm not sure if this is one or two objects right here, of course. They blink off and on so much that it's really hard to tell. So it's always been kind of my goal to find out what these objects are. I mean, these lights in the sky have to be something. The sky just doesn't light up randomly. There has to be an actual object there, and that's what I've been trying to get photographs of, is what are these objects. Here again is either one or two objects traveling together. Sometimes they'll power down, like in that earlier photograph, and just go to a neutral color, and then they'll power up. So in some of these photographs, I take so many of them in the course of a night that it's hard to tell if there's one or two objects. Here again, hard to tell if this is blinking right here and then moving over to here, or if this is blinking at the same time that this one is. If this is the same object, obviously it's changed shape and powered down to a neutral color right there, but you can still see it blink. So, FAA regulations don't allow for, a multitude of colors other than the ones that are, issued for aircraft. So this is at a pretty good distance. So now I'm thinking this could be the strobe on an airplane with atmospheric distortion, but it doesn't explain to me what it's doing here as it's going along. If this is a strobe, it wouldn't be, halfway on out here. It would be full on. So I'm not buying that that's an airplane. Let me show you another photograph of it. Here again, you've almost got FAA colors, right? You got the red and almost white, almost green going on. So I mean, if that's not an airplane, then you got to stop and figure out what in the world is that. Is it some kind of metamaterial that's being caused, moved around by radio waves like a drone? They can steer them around with radio waves. Or is it scalar waves? Or is this thing just got its own, program in it, and it's just programmed to avoid gravity or overcome gravity or move from point A to point B? It's already, self-activated or self-automated. Who knows? But it makes for some interesting photographs. And this could be a different type of metamaterial than here on the bottom, and you send a signal into it. It causes it to, become energized and pulse these two edges apart. I mean, I just don't know. I'm just a photographer here, trying to figure out what in the world these things are. Like I said, there's a lot of airplanes out there, and there's a lot of other things out there that I'm pretty sure are not airplanes. So I'm just trying to show you what I'm seeing out there. So if you watched the video, I appreciate it. If you subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that also. So thanks for watching. Be sure and take care out there. Thanks again.